What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in to a special Sunday, beautiful afternoon edition of Shooting the Breeze on the PWTorch YouTube channel. I'm PWTorch Assistant Editor Zack Heydorn. Yeah, we're outside today shooting. It's just, it's one of those things. It's too darn nice to be inside. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna head outside, crack a cold one here, and talk a little bit of WWE Backlash, which happened last night, San Juan, Puerto Rico. I mean, before we get started, really, with any kind of analysis of the show itself, you gotta talk about that crowd, right? I mean, the crowd was just, off the charts engaged, off the charts invested. Man, they were, I think they made like the B-level nature of Backlash as a PLE brand for WWE feel really, really big time. And if WWE can find a way to do that with their B-level shows, man, they've got a formula that's cooking, and that's cooking pretty darn good, I think. Because boy, like, just from even on Friday night on SmackDown, like, you could just tell that there was an energy in that building right out of the gate, that audience was ready to be there. They were ready to kind of engage with whatever WWE was going to put on. Like, you didn't get the sense that there was much pushback on Friday. A little more, though, come the pay-per-view on Saturday night, which we'll get to in a very quick second here. But all in all, those types of audiences, really can make or break a show. Like, I don't know, what happens if you put that exact same show, even here in Chicago, in the Allstate Arena in Rosemont. Like, I just, you just don't know how something like that will go with an audience that sees, the WWE product on a regular basis. And so it's very fun to watch these things happen in other areas where WWE doesn't go. AEW is finding that out very quickly with their Wembley show. I mean, 60,000 tickets sold. That place is going to be hot once the bell rings for the first match. And so, so pretty cool environment. I think it made the show. I think it maybe masked some issues with the show and issues with the booking in particular, which we'll get into. But all in all, look, that's what a good crowd can do. If you have a product that comes across looking, the perception of it is that it's hot and is that people are into it. A lot of that other kind of booking stuff can let go, because you're seeing an audience that's investing and invested, and it kind of it puts some duct tape over some potential booking issues that may have happened, and there was some, I think, last night on the show. Not going to run the show down frame by frame by frame or match by match by match, but I want to hit the high points, at least from my perspective, as I sit here. And I got to say, we're going to have to probably do more of this outside video stuff, because boy, oh boy, it is gorgeous. I'm in the backyard here at the house, and obviously you can hear the birds chirping. You can hear some cars out on the street over there. So apologies if it's a little bit loud, but boy, it is like 84 degrees here in Chicago, sunny. This is the best way to do these shows with you guys. And so, cheers to you and cheers to that. All right. So, I want to start off talking Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. What a darn match that thing was, right? I mean, first of all, I was a little surprised at the reaction that Io Sky got. And not because Io's not a good talent and not a known talent. It's nothing like that. It's just on Friday on SmackDown with the San Juan audience, they really reacted exactly like the WWE wanted them to. It seemed like they were cheering the good guys, they were booing the bad guys, and they were pretty much like walking that line that WWE was running the show for. So when the match started and everybody in that audience is behind Io Sky, the quote unquote heel, it was surprising. And I'm sitting there going, well, it'll be interesting to see how Bianca Belair in particular handles some diversity as far as that goes. And I thought she did a wonderful job. Like, I thought she balanced being the good guy who was going to win in the end with a smooth recognition of what was going on in the building. Like, she had like a bit of an edge to her. She had a bit of a it wasn't like she was upset with the audience, and it wasn't like she was wrestling like a heel, but I think she changed her tone a little bit to kind of match what the audience was giving her and what the audience was giving Io Sky. And I don't know if they planned the match the way that it went down, but there were moments where I thought Io Sky was gonna do it. I mean, they had me, hook, line, and sinker on some of those near falls, and so I credit a lot of that to Bianca Belair for not totally swimming upstream and just trying to do her whole entire babyface act in front of the crowd that was clearly behind Io Sky. And the thing with Bianca is she didn't go over the top. She didn't work heel per se, but she just changed the tone of her performance a little bit to kind of mirror what she was getting. And I think that's the mark of a seasoned performer that understands that you use what the audience gives you. Period. I mean, that's what you do. You use what the audience gives you, and you go with that. And I thought in the end they told a really good story. Io Sky, she has played heel for a lot of her run in WWE, obviously on the main roster the entire time, but even in NXT, when she was champion early, for most of that run, she was a heel. And so I think that's what people know of her, but she has a babyface run in her without question. I mean, she has such a cool moveset. She's got such a cool look. The entrance is there. The audience clearly, likes her. I think she also has the ability to draw sympathy as a babyface. I think she has a genuine connection with the crowd. And so whenever WWE wants to pull the trigger on that, and I think they're on the way. I think they're on the way to do so right now with the kind of the Bayley Damage Control, that faction colliding head on. She's looking like the one that's going to break off and have like a bit of a singles run, which is crazy to say since Bayley is in that faction. But I think she's got that in her, and I think that's, if you're WWE, you want to go ahead and run with that. The one thing I don't think worked very well was the finish to this match. Like, I mean, from the perspective of, like, did it protect Io a little bit? Yes. And did it tell the story of Damage Control getting in Io Sky's way? A little bit. I think if you missed, like, if for some reason you were looking down and taking a swig of beer like I just did, you could have missed the nuance in that finish where they're going to tell the story that Damage Control got involved and it hurt Io Sky's ability to win the match. To me, that wasn't laid out as well enough as it should have been. Like, I think that had to be more clear. That had to be more definitive, that they were getting in her way, and had they not, she would have won. And I think you can make that, you can kind of figure that out on your own if you watch it again and like they show you replays. But in the moment, I don't think there was any real heat behind Damage Control's involvement because it just went too fast and it just wasn't properly executed. So I didn't love that, but in the end, I don't think it's going to matter all that much. I think they're still going to be able to tell the story. Io Sky, if you watch this match, you're going to have a whole new appreciation for what she does and what she can bring to the table. And, I think she's on another level now, and I don't know if that's a championship level or if that's just, hey, we're going to challenge for the championship and that's the level, but it's a new level without question. That's a main event championship level match that she put on, and I think people are going to recognize that in WWE, and the fans certainly will too. Monday night, it'll be very interesting to see what goes down with her, and if WWE really tries to take advantage of the match and of whatever momentum she has right now. All right, so that's the opener. The next match on the show was Seth Rollins versus Omos. And Seth clearly stated ahead of this match that he wanted, not that he wanted to, but that he was going to get the best match out of Omos, out of anybody. The best match of Omos' career. And I think he succeeded to that endeavor. It was a good, solid match. It wasn't the same type of match as Io Sky versus Bianca Belair, of course. It was different. It was, the giant in Omos taking down a smaller opponent and beating him up, and Seth fighting back, fighting from underneath the whole way, building up sympathy, and hitting his finishers in the end to get the win. So this did a lot, I think, for Seth and for Omos. And we'll start with Seth first. He has a ton of momentum right now. I mean, I think even if you go back to like WrestleMania 35 when he was wrestling Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, and he won the Royal Rumble that year. That's 2019. He was popular then, and he was like kind of like the face of Raw in a lot of ways. I don't think he had the same momentum and same kind of audience investment that he does right now. And the song thing is really fun right now. I used to think that, like, and I was wrong about this. Like, to me, it was like people were giving him that attention just because they liked singing the song. And early on in the run, I don't think he put enough behind that from a character perspective to kind of keep it hot. But he has now. And I think, like, he's mirrored that. It's not just the song anymore. I think some of the promos that Seth has cut have been very important. I think the Logan Paul feud did a lot to help Seth kind of showcase the kind of face of the company that he wants to be. And I think that feud really helped him. He's having good matches, too. I mean, and it's Seth Rollins, right? I mean, he's always pretty much having good matches. The interesting thing about this match was the psychology of the stomps. I thought that was well done. I mean, not many people have kicked out of the stomp in WWE. I mean, there's some, of course, but not a ton. And here, you had Omos kicking out of 2. So Seth gets to do a cool move. He hits the stomp off the top rope. But Omos gets to kind of stand apart as a monster heel from other heels on the roster that have kicked out of multiple stomps. They've kicked out of multiple Seth Rollins finishers. And I think Seth gave a lot to Omos there, especially if he's going to go on to win the World Championship or at least be in consideration. He gave a lot to Omos. And so that made Omos look like $1 million. Omos has improved. And I know, he gets a rap, because he's not, look, the guy's not going to have 5-star matches, but he has improved. He's where he needs to be. I think he's more, he looks more comfortable out there than he used to. I think he's kind of falling into his character a little bit better. I think he's using his size better as well. And I think we saw all of this in the match against Seth. And so, I give it like a thumbs up as far as that goes. I mean, again, is it a 5-star match? No, but it didn't need to be, not on this show. And it did what it needed to and helped Omos kind of maintain monster status while, launching Seth to another level. And I think that's important. That was the goal. All right. Let's get to the end of the show here. So, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. San Juan street fight. I thought this was just a beautifully built match. If you read my column on PWTorch.com, that I just loved it. I thought it was really to the point. I thought it was great at painting Bad Bunny as the uber star babyface and Priest as an uber star heel. I thought they hit the right tone. I thought they didn't overdo it in terms of, like, Bad Bunny constantly getting like the one-upsmanship on on Priest before the match. Like, he had a hill to climb, he had a mountain to climb, and I think that worked really well once they got to the match time. The Bad Bunny is just an insane star. Like the reactions, not just in Puerto Rico, but like in Chicago here a couple weeks ago on Raw, like that was a big time pop. And people, from what I understand, tickets moved once he was announced for the show. So, he's a great talent, and he's a giving talent too. He's not a celebrity that just wants to come in and like kind of hit a couple spots, win matches, and that's it. I mean, he told a story with this build, and the match was no different. I like Damian Priest opposite Bad Bunny. I think Priest did a great job of taking care of him in this match. He gave him a lot in the match too. But when it was time for Priest to go on offense and for him to really lay the stuff in so that Bunny had sympathy, he did that, and he did it in a way that he would with anybody else. It seemed he wasn't holding back on the weapons that he used or the strikes. Like, he was all in on that, and I think that made for a really good match. The match itself, I mean, just I don't know that you could have booked that any better. Like, it was such a fun match. It had some great cameos. The Carlito cameo was awesome. Savio Vega, him coming out, was great. Just two kind of big players in Puerto Rico from the wrestling scene, like WWE kind of giving a nod to their own history and to wrestling history in Puerto Rico. So I thought it was a really nice touch. And the audience was there for it the entire time. So I loved the match. I thought it was just thumbs up. 4 3/4 stars. If you ask me, that's what I have it at. And you'll see my full report in the PWTorch newsletter this week in our roundtable reviews. But I loved the match. I thought it was fantastic. And Bad Bunny, obviously he's not going to be a full-time WWE wrestler. We know this. But if you're WWE, I think you need to regularly think of something for this guy to be doing. A lot like Logan Paul. And maybe that's a match you do at some point down the road. Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. I mean, Bad Bunny versus Roman Reigns. I mean, that's surely something you could potentially do. I mean, well, why not? Like, why the heck not? So I love this match. It was great. I don't think we're going to have too much follow-up from it because I don't know what Bad Bunny's kind of schedule is, moving forward. Like, this could be the end of him around WWE for a while. But either way, it's worth it. The Puerto Rico crowd was insane for him. And I think it went off exactly like you would want it to go. So Bad Bunny did his thing. Damian Priest did his thing. And was a complete pro. So this is on the high end of what you could expect, I think, from that match. So thumbs up to them. I was very strongly in favor of not putting Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in the main event. And here's why. Like, in the end, for as good as that match was, it's still a gimmick match. Like, it's still a gimmick match. You had 2 run-ins, and way more than that if you include Judgment Day and Rey Mysterio. Like, that's just what it was, and that doesn't make it bad. It just doesn't make it bad, but I don't know that it makes it pay-per-view main event worthy. And I don't, the match certainly isn't any better if it's in the main event slot. Like, I think it did what it needed to do in that position, took advantage of a hot crowd that was ready to go, and then you still got to put your regular main event talent in the main event so that they are highlighted. And I think ultimately, like, that's a smart move for WWE to make, because Bad Bunny is not going to be around WWE all the time, but he is going to bring viewers to the product. And you don't want those people just coming in, or like, the idea is you're not going to turn them away if they just come in for Bad Bunny, but the idea is that Bad Bunny brings that extra viewership in. Those viewers find something. Look at, got an airplane flying above me. Of course, airplane like that has not flown above this house probably since I've moved in here, and I come out to record one video, and there it is. I mean, such is life. Anyway, they want people to stick around. after they see a show with Bad Bunny on it. So I think you have to treat your other stars in a way that can attract those new viewers. Like, and so if there's somebody tuning in to see this Bad Bunny match, they go, "Whoa, I really like that Cody Rhodes guy," or "Man, that guy's the top star. I'm in on him. Maybe I'll tune in on Monday to kind of see what happens after this Brock Lesnar match." Like, that's what you want, because you don't have access to Bad Bunny all the time. So he's a good, he's a key to unlocking other eyes watching the product, but he's not necessarily going to keep them around himself. People might come back and forth when he's on and when he's not on, but you want to have people that are testing the product out find something that they're attracted to and stick with that to come back. And you can't do that if you put the special celeb attraction on the show in a position where he overshadows everybody else. Because then it's like, well, Bad Bunny is clearly the biggest star here, so what else is there to see? Like, to me, the smart business approach is to do what they did. You put that match on, third from the top, call it a double main event, and still put Cody and Brock on at the end of the show, because they are the top stars on Raw. I think it's smart business. Now, it was smart business to lay the show out that way. The finish to Cody and Brock, I am firmly not behind. And I don't mean Cody winning. And I don't mean Cody winning the way that he won. I think the way that Cody won the match is a fine way to beat Brock Lesnar. You use his. Are you gonna outslug Brock Lesnar? Are you gonna out beat up Brock Lesnar? Probably not. I think it's reasonable to think that you're not gonna do that. And here, Cody took advantage, used some leverage, and pinned him. So I don't mind the call to finish the match that way. It's what happened after the finish that had me shaking my head, where it's like, so Cody has this signature win and just barely celebrates with the audience. He leaves the ring. He rushes out of there like he's scurrying away, almost like a heel. And Lesnar, the beaten, bloody Lesnar, is in the ring, and the audience is cheering for him. Gives him a round of applause. Like, what are we doing here? Like, okay, fine. This is gonna be a multi-match deal. Okay. But you could still treat, and you need to still treat, a win over Brock Lesnar as a really big deal. Plus, you have this thing in the main event. Don't you want Cody going off there, standing tall in the ring, like sending the people home happy? Like, the framing of the win was so off and so out of touch that, to me, I can't sit here and tell you guys that WWE really got anything out of Cody beating Brock Lesnar because of how it was treated afterwards. I mean, it's all in the follow-up. And are people going to remember this win 2 weeks from now? Who the heck knows? Because he ran away. I mean, I don't get the psychology of that. Like, if you're Cody and you beat Brock Lesnar and you finish that story, if you will, after the attack he gave you, like, and you win the match like you said you would, I mean, that's your time to be in the ring, celebrate with the audience, and kind of take in that moment. You got to get all you can out of wins like that. And Brock, look, he doesn't put over many people clean. It just doesn't happen. Roman, Seth, is there anybody else? Triple H, way back in the day, John Cena. Like, just tip-top guys have beaten Brock Lesnar clean since he's come back. And tip-top guys haven't beat him either. And so to see them kind of like go with this and go with the win and then not give it any type of juice, it's like, you might as well have not done it. If you're not going to like frame it as a big deal, why go forward with it? Like, if you, for whatever reason, we got to protect Brock. Okay, that's fine. I get it. But then don't do it this way. Don't have Cody win, or don't book the match. Like, whatever. But if you're gonna book the match and you're gonna have Cody win clean, you gotta give it what it needs so that win gives Cody something significant to hang his hat on. And him scurrying away and looking afraid of Brock, and Brock kind of soaking in all the adoration from the audience, like, I don't know. I thought that was a really, really bad way for this show to go off the air. And, you know, again, it's Cody. You know, they're going with him, but like, they're not, like, they did not put like the promotional hype machine behind him coming out of that win. Like, it was just like, kind of like, okay, here's a win, and now let's move on to something else quick. I don't get the sense that that's like, I don't know why they would, you know, you'd frame something like that. I think it was a miss on their part to do it that way. Boy, that's the show. Hopefully you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me, as always. I certainly appreciate it. We will be live all throughout the week right here on the PWTorch YouTube channel. We'll preview Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Tuesday, we'll do a review of Raw and also preview NXT. Wednesday is AEW Dynamite Day, so all things AEW Dynamite on the YouTube channel. Usually something from Stephanie Chase with the All Elite wrap-up, and Tyler Sage will go live some point in the afternoons to preview AEW Dynamite. Scheduling alert. Normally we do our flagship episode of the Fireside Chat with Tyler and myself on Thursday afternoons. For the foreseeable future, that is going to be moved until Friday. Just scheduling conflicts have not made Thursday work out. And so we're just going to move the show to Friday afternoons. Good way to wrap up the week. And we got a full week's worth of news to talk about. So that's how we'll be executing that. Thank you to all of our subscribers. If you have not subscribed, please hit subscribe. We've got new content every single day from a variety of different contributors. It's good stuff. We cover it all, cover everything. And we just appreciate you guys. Hit the notification button so you can join us live when we go live. And, thank you. So cheers to you guys. And hopefully you have a great Sunday afternoon. We'll talk to you on Monday. Later.